What is up, guys? My name is Robert Donaldson, and today we are back with episode number 186 of Rob's Best Bets. And as always, you can find me over on X, formerly Twitter, at RobDFB. And if you do want more content like this in the future, please hit that like and subscribe button because it really does help out a ton. But before we jump into the picks, I just want to give a massive shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring today's video. And if you do want to get involved with the pick'em videos that we do on this channel, or if you just want to take part in similar daily contests, head over there and use my promo code ROBDFB at sign up, and they'll match your first $100 up to 100%. And as we hop into this recap, it's going to be a larger recap because we haven't recapped last week's performance, and last week's performance was the worst of the entire year. You know, we've been doing this we're actually coming up on a year-long anniversary on the 28th. I kind of jumped the gun on Twitter and said that this, the 22nd of November would be the 1-year anniversary. I actually double-checked, and the 28th will be our 1-year anniversary over here on YouTube, that is, for posting pics and making videos. But man, you know, that was our worst week of the entire year since we started up this YouTube channel, and it's just not acceptable. I mean, I was pissed at myself. I was pissed at the volume we were laying. You know, I was pissed at just some of the decisions we were making in terms of who we were betting on. Really had to reevaluate that. And to start off this week, you know, we are back in the green to start on Monday and on Tuesday. And we have been catching some bad beats. Don't get me wrong. I mean, every single day, you guys see it. One possession games are not going our way right now. And listen, that's going to happen with every single sports bettor. They're going to experience some cold stretches where, you know, every single one possession game feels like it goes the other way. And as I always say, and I have to firmly believe this, even though, you know, the recent results can skew your mind a little bit, but eventually those will even out over time. And we will start to cash on, you know, those good breaks rather than just taking some bad beats. But early in the college basketball season, that necessarily hasn't been the case. And on the other side too, you know, we've just had some bad bets. And I really do think college basketball is one of my best sports to handicap, along with that Major League Baseball and college football. And I have zero doubt, because I've seen this over the last 3-4 years, that we're going to finish somewhere around the 200 unit mark in college basketball. And I firmly guarantee, you know, if you keep riding, if you stay disciplined, you know, don't chase losses and don't get deterred by some cold stretches, you will have a successful year and a profitable year. And I'm going to help engineer that as much as I can. But other than that, y'all, let's try to keep this rolling here and cash 3 back-to-back days. And I'm really excited to get into this slate because I think it's a fun one. All right, for our first play of the day, we're going to start off by taking a look at a matchup between Florida and Pitt. And this is a later one because it is a tournament matchup. And I really do think that Florida is going to be an underrated team to back in the early goings this season, especially now that they have Zion Poland making his appearance in this lineup after kind of dealing with some injury issues after his transfer from UC Riverside. And I don't think Pitt is really as good as their record would indicate. And like I've been kind of saying, I think that they could potentially be in for a sophomore slump this year as well. So let's go ahead and lay the 2.5 points here with Florida for 2 units for our first play of the day. For pick number 2, we are taking a look at a matchup between Northern Iowa and North Carolina. And Northern Iowa is one of the best coached mid-majors in all of college basketball. Mark Jacobson has been doing this for a very long time, and I think he's got a very good team on his hands yet again, even though last time out they kind of looked a little bit flat, and that can sometimes happen with these tournament matchups. But in this matchup here against North Carolina, I think they match up pretty well. I think they have the element of surprise, and I think they have that neutral court factor as well playing into their hands here too. So let's go ahead and take Northern Iowa, getting the 12.5 points here for 3 units for our second play of the day. For pick number 3, we are taking a look at a matchup between Little Rock and Georgia State. And if you're looking at the college basketball schedules and who these teams have played so far, you might be scratching your head just a little bit, because Little Rock and Georgia State quite literally just played each other the previous game. And this sometimes happens with mid-majors and lower-level opponents, where the scheduling just seems funky and teams end up playing each other back-to-back or with one game in between. And almost always you're going to see these weird lines, and almost always you want to take the team that lost the previous matchup, especially when it's a weird line like this. So let's go ahead and take Little Rock, getting the 2 points here for 3 units for our third play of the day. Pick number 4, we're taking a look at a matchup between Queens University of North Carolina going up against Fairleigh Dickinson, and this Queens team has kind of burned us this year in our first 2 bets that we placed on them. That said, Fairleigh Dickinson is a brand that I really want to fade right now because they are not the same team that last year made that run in the NCAA tournament, and I do think Queens is in for some positive regression as the season goes on as well. So let's go ahead and lay the 5.5 points here for 3 units for our 4th play of the day. Pick number 5, we are taking a look at a matchup between South Dakota State and Southern Miss, and South Dakota State has been getting really unlucky in terms of dropping one possession game, and then one little blowout mixed in there that, unfortunately, yes, we did bet on them against Kansas State. And it kind of feels like our college basketball season from a better standpoint as well. So this kind of identifies as our team. And aside from just kind of like making jokes about it, they are extremely good. And I really do think they're due for a lot of positive regression, especially in that win column. And in this matchup, it really wouldn't surprise me if they win this game by 20 plus. So let's go ahead and take South Dakota State, getting the 1.5 points here for 4.5 units for our 5th play of the day. All right, for our final play of the day, we are taking a look at a matchup between Duquesne and Nebraska, and this Duquesne team has been one of our favorites in the early goings because they've been making us some good money, and they are a really good team who I really think can compete with the high majors of the world, and Nebraska is one of the lower level high majors in college basketball, and even with Tominaga back, he's been dealing with some injuries, he's still getting acclimated to the lineup, and I really do think there's a lot of value here in fading that brand. So let's go ahead and take Duquesne, getting the 7.5 points here for 4.5 units for our final play of the day. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and if you do want to show some love, head over to Twitter and drop a follow at RobDFB. You can also drop a like in this video, you can subscribe to the channel, and you can comment down below. And as always, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.